you doing, guys? Today we're going to start fitting the hood on my 1955 Wheelhorse Senior. 1955, 1956, they had a fiberglass hood that covered the engine and went all the way back to the steering column. Years prior, there were no hoods. That would include the other Seniors that had steering wheels and the lever steers. Nothing against those units, but really the ones to have, or the one to have, is the 56 model or the 55 model. In order to start the project, though, we have to get the engine pulley off the front of the AEN. Now, I've already popped it off, but I wanted to show you something. The hood is right up against the blower cover up front. Then you have a grass screen, and then you have the ring that retains the grass screen to the hood and to the engine. That doesn't leave a whole lot of room here to get the pulley off. And basically the pulley, to get it off, you just put a wrench, usually like a big crescent wrench, and you pop it with a hammer, and that will pop it off. And then when you put it on, you get it on, and you just kind of do the same thing to tighten it back on with a lock washer. When you have the hood in place, and we'll get the hood in a second, you'll see that the hood kind of bulges out right here on both sides. That makes it difficult to get a really big crescent wrench in there to get to the pulley nut, or the back side of the pulley looks like a nut. So I went to Amazon and I bought this wrench right here. This is a 1 9/16 wrench made in Mexico. So Jeff Bezos was kind enough to sell this to me. I think I paid like 17 bucks for it. And it fits the pulley just as we want it. It's thin enough where I can move it around a little bit and then take the rubber mallet and bang the pulley on and off. And it doesn't get in the way of the grass screen, won't get in the way of the hood or anything to that effect. So if you're looking for an easy way to get that pulley on and off, this wrench actually works pretty good. Plus, if I want to add a little piece of bar stock, or I should say band iron to it to make the handle longer, I can do that too, because at 17 bucks, who cares? So we're going to take this off. It just unscrews from the crankshaft. Got to be careful with it in the sense that this is an original pulley, or the original AEN pulley on a Senior, is cast iron. So it weighs not a ton, but it weighs definitely heavier than the standard aluminum on the AEN L model. So when you're undoing this, make sure you have your hand, you're holding it very well, or you're going to bash it into your frame and you're connecting, the end links and all that stuff, and you don't want that to happen. So let me go ahead, let me get this off, let me get the grass screen out of the way. I'm going to take the air filter off, which, you got to take this whole system off, and we got to take the steering wheel off in order to get the hood on. So let me get those off, and then we will take a look at what the hood looks like on the tractor. Now I just dropped the hood onto the tractor itself. It actually doesn't fit too bad. Now I do need to trim and file some areas. For one, this area right here and right here, when I redid the hood a couple years ago, probably like 3 years ago, I purposely made these areas big when I fixed it, knowing that I would need to just kind of like file it and fit it so that way it would drop down perfectly to line up with the bolt holes. That's what these are for. Also, I had to redo this area, and you can see it's close. I'll show you in a second. Very close. Same with the air cleaner. As you can see, when we look at the back of the hood, it's a little bit off on the steering column, but if I take the back and kind of like lift this up and put it like where it's supposed to be, everything starts to line up really good. So I'm not too concerned about any of this. I think the first thing I need to do is I need to kind of make some general marks, take a file and kind of file that fiberglass down in order to get this thing back a little bit and down so those bolt holes will line up. And then from there, what I can do is figure out how I'm going to bolt, or I'm going to do it the original way, but how I'm going to bolt. I got to re-drill these holes for the hood stand, and then I'll monkey around with these holes here. So that way I know That way I know the hood is mounted solidly like it's supposed to be, and then I'll kind of realign. I might have to do some fiberglass work, who knows. But for right now, things look like preliminarily they're going to line up pretty darn good. The other thing I need to do is wash it. It's only been sitting in that shed for God knows how long, but we'll do that after we get it all lined up. First off, I got to knock these corners down. You can see where it's sitting on top of the frame here on both sides. So I'm going to go ahead. I just took some pencil and I made little marks here and there and a little mark right there. I'm going to go ahead and get a file, and I'm going to file those back in order to get at least this area here to sit on top of the frame and sit on top of the frame. I got to be careful on this side because this side seems a little higher than that side, and everything on the hood is not symmetrical. I mean, if you take a look at it, you can see how this is the original. You can see how this is a little bit longer and that's a little bit shorter. The actual bottom piece is twisted over a little bit. It's just the nature of the beast. And actually this side, I think it's this side here, is a little bit, or this is the side, it's a little bigger than that side. And it, you know, there was variations in it. So we're gonna go ahead and just gingerly sand, I'm gonna take the hood off, gingerly file it down and put it back on and see where we are. And I'll probably do that maybe 2 or 3 times in order to get, you know, fairly close the bolt holes to the engine. I'm sure there's not too many people that would take a file to their senior hood, but that's what you're about to witness. Just nibbling these corners down here and right there, as you can see, we're almost there. You can see that hole, you can see this hole. This one here is a little bit, yeah, it's down. That hole there is down a little bit. When we come up to the filler cap, you say, well, Vin, that doesn't look so good, and we're kind of tight right here. But if we take a look and we take a gander at this and we kind of center that, right, and I'll try to hold it the best I can, that comes into play, and this looks really good. This will get better once I lower the hood down a little bit more. Now you can see it's close on this side. We need to lower this corner. We got to get the hood to go this, kind of like this way. That's going to move the hole over and should center up this, as well as we're tight over here. So once I get this, I'm going to file that down a little bit more, drop this corner down. It is, if we take a look at it like in this thing, we can see that that corner there is a little bit high. So we can bring that corner down a little bit. That'll shift the hole over, shift the hole over. It'll also line up our steering shaft a little bit better in this direction. And then we can get these holes lined up. This might be easier than I anticipated. After all that work I did on it, I thought for sure that I tweaked it worse than this. But I'm going to go ahead, take a little measurement, see how much more I'm going to take off that side to drop it down, and we'll see what the results are. It's getting closer. Super happy with the way this is coming out. If you take a look at it in the front, you can see this hole here for some reason is way off, but that could be the hole itself. So I'm not going to be too concerned about that. This hole's getting closer. That one's fairly close. That one is pretty close. Needs a little bit more work. But when we take a look at the level, you can see our bubble's still this way. So this corner has to go down. Oh, then the other thing too is I notice here this side, we can take some more off this front section here anyways to get this more level with the frame. I'm actually going to take a piece of tape and kind of go here so that way I can get this closer, because this side, I mean that side I think fits pretty darn mint. We're almost there. I think we're almost there. Yeah, this thing is sitting on the gas tank, but it is what it is. All right, let me continue sanding and grinding on this to get this closer. Okay, I think this is like the third fitment, and I think we're right there. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, these holes, this one here and that one there, do not line up with the engine, the hood that is. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and hog this hole down a little bit and then hog this hole down a little bit. It's right, I mean the hole's right there on the edge of this, I guess you call it a cover or reveal, whatever you want to call it. But it'll cover it up and it'll look, I think it's going to look fine. I do have the grass screen that needs to go in there and the pulley and blah, 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 blah. But for right now, I think that looks pretty darn good. Gas cap, I don't think I could have asked for that to fit better. That came out mint. The air cleaner, it does rub, or, well, that's actually the back banging, but it is really close. We might just let that self-clearance, because this shot of the, I mean, that's mint. Perfect. This side, perfect. The front, I don't know. That looks perfect to me. That looks perfect to me. That looks pretty perfect to me. This front reveal, you know, right there, that looks great. And then when we look at the back of the hood, I did shove that little piece of wood in there just to kind of center it. But this will actually come down to about right there. Then I could just drill these 1, 2, and 3 holes, and that will secure the back, which I believe I'm right there. I think that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to mark those holes, drill those holes, get some bolts, lightly bolt those 3 bolts in there, and then I'm just going to hog this out a little bit, hog that out a little bit, put the whole front on, bolt the back on, and I think the hood, we can call this installed preliminarily, because we have one other thing we need to do. Finger tight installed. Man, this thing really looks sharp. There's our reveals on the front. That looks awesome. The only thing is you can see that little hole right there, but you know what? Who cares? It's perfectly centered in the thing. And as you can see how small that space is? That's why I went and got this wrench. Because, you know, to get this pulley on and off, oops, let me show you again. To get this pulley on and off, this is all you got. I mean, this is it. If you got the hood in place, this is all you got to get this pulley off. I am going to actually weld a piece of like band iron to this thing so I can hit it over here to get the pulley off, and then vice versa on this side in order to tighten the pulley up. Because it's super tight, and anything thicker than this, you know, you're crashing it into your grass screen. You're crashing it into the grass screen. You're crashing it into the AEN's, you know, blower cover piece that would typically be bolted right to the blower cover. The other thing you can see here is, see this little spider? And there's a little spider right there. Those are the 2 little bolts that hold the nameplate of the engine on. So before I finish, I'm going to put a little protection there, maybe a little piece of foam or something like that to keep it from boring itself. But then again, it's been how many umpteen years that didn't happen, but I don't know. That reveal came out perfect. You know, I can't ask for better than that. This, we got just a hair of space behind that thing. If I shake this, there's no clunking. If I shake the hood, there's no clunking. So I'm not even going to mess with that. I'm leaving that alone. And then the reveal on this side looks absolutely perfect to me. I'm super happy with that. The steering wheel, I just have the steering wheel on there just for purpose. We could take that off. Yeah. I don't think I could have eyeballed that any better than it was, or is. I mean, that came out mint. Now, don't worry about these 3 bolts. Those are not the style bolts I'm going to use. They just happen to be the only 1/4 20s that I had available for right now. Bada bing, bada boom. Perfectly lined up. Everything lined up super nice. I think that looks great, man. Wow. And it looks level. So we'll pull back, take a look. Yeah. Yep. I'm happy with that. All right, next. You say, well, what's next? Isn't this thing done? Well, it is almost. I do have to run a kill wire from the mag up to the push button kill switch, which goes right here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably JB weld a ring or a washer up here, so, or maybe like somewhere right over here somewhere. So that way I can take the wire, go behind the magneto, come up, and it'll kind of come up here, come up here to the ring, and then straight to the back of the push button. So that way it looks kind of clean. I don't know yet what I'm going to do with the kill wire. Some people have them run up here, some of them follow, some of them are just dangling. Dangling is not going to be an option for me. I don't know. I have to work on that. All right, so that's next. So let me take this off. Or actually not take it off. Let me go get some wire. Oh, push button too. Let's go get that. In the essence of time, and it's late, we're going to save the kill wire and my signature piece for another video. As some of you may know if you watch my channel, I like to personalize one piece of one of my tractors just to kind of make it mine. Some people hate it, some people like it. People that have bought my tractors in the past have said, hey, you know, please leave that on so that way it's known as a VinsRJ tractor. Now, don't take that as being pretentious. It's just, all my tractors are on YouTube. All the work that's ever been done to them is on YouTube, and some people that buy my tractors like to have that, so that way they can always tell somebody it's the tractor from YouTube. So on a senior, I don't really want to ruin a part. So this is the part that I've decided to make my signature piece, which is the cover to the clutch. Now this is the original to my tractor. I'm not going to mess with this one. I'll just put it with the various little parts that I have saved for the tractor, but I have started working on one that I got off of eBay. And you can see I just sandblasted, did a little bit of spot putty, and then primed it, and now I'm just sanding out the primer. So that's for a future video, as well as our kill switch. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd be kind enough to come back, that would be greatly appreciated as we finalize my 1955 Wheel Horse Senior. Until we meet again to the next project, you have a great day.